Hello, my sexy muffins, and welcome back to another video. This one is another Father's Day video, the second one of the week, and it is for Kondraki as the father, an alpha with his omega, which is Clef in this. It's the alpha, beta, omega universe where they are a couple and that they are sorted together, and basically, Kondraki's son and Clef's daughter, because he was the omega, so he had the male pregnancy and all that. And yes, also, sorry, brain fart, that since it's Kondraki, it's going to be them, their two kids planning the Father's Day together for Kondraki. Anyways, let's get on to business. Disclaimer: This is the disclaimer. They Kondraki and Clef are not Yandere and canon. This is just for fun and not to be taken seriously at all. Simping for fictional characters and shipping them is fine. Just do not be illegal or gross about it. And remember to separate fiction from reality and headcanon from canon. Yanderes are not ideal partners to have in real life. Also, this is an alpha, beta, omega verse disclaimer. So, this is not the canon universe. This is basically one of the multiverses of the SCP universe, which is very specific, but it's most likely not canon in the SCP fandom and universe. Thank you. Now, let's get on to business. Draven, Draxon? Draven. I think it's Draven. Let me Google it. Sorry, little disclaimer, I did not know how to pronounce his name. Yeah, it's Draven. Okay, thank you, Google. Okay, back to the video. Draven was explaining to Mary. I think it's Mary, Meri. Thank you. Just Mary for that and Draven for that. Okay, let's do this. Draven was explaining to Mary what Father's Day was, and she was looking at him. She's about 4 years old, and he's about 7 years old, and they were going to do something good for their papa, aka Kondraki, Benjamin Kondraki, the alpha who is with Mary's mother, aka and father, Clef. So they were getting ready. They got up extra early, and Mary was rubbing the sleep out of her eyes. So, what is this day? She asks, looking up at her big half brother or adopted brother. Well, this day is special because we are going to be having Father's Day, which is the day that we celebrate our father figures. They don't have to be assigned male at birth. They don't have to be identify as male, but they take on the father figure role, like how Mama or Clef or your mama. He was didn't know how to address Clef since he met him only a bit ago, is basically your mom, even though he's assigned male at birth and all that. He's omega, so his second gender is female. uh Mary looked at him with a confused look, but seemed to get it. So it didn't matter what they identify as, but it was the figure that basically raised you in that role. It could be an aunt or an uncle or whatever, but to respect the person that raised you or was the father or mother figure for you. She nodded her head. Okay, that makes sense, she says. So what are we going to do? She asks. Well, I'm going to have to make breakfast as best as I can, Draven said, rubbing the back of his head. And you are going to help me put the peanut butter on the toast and pour the milk and all that stuff, okay? He says. She nods her head eagerly, very happy to help. And also, we got to make a card for them to go with it. He pulled out construction paper and folded it perfectly into a hamburger style piece. We can you color it in the background as much as you want while I start cooking? She nods her head and got out her crayons, getting ready to work on the card. She was going to make it the prettiest card ever. Mary was so focused she was sticking her tongue out of the side of her mouth and super focused, while Draven was very, very careful to make breakfast. He didn't burn anything, but the eggs were a bit more runny for scrambled eggs, but he figured they were good enough. And the toast came out a little bit burnt, but it was still not smoking, and the fire alarm didn't go off, so that was all good. Mary then covered the toast in peanut butter and butter, making sure it was extra smothered and leaking with the heat from the toast. And then Draven put their names on the card, doing his best to keep his penmanship very good. I think we're ready, he says, putting the card onto the tray and carefully carrying it. It was heavier than he thought, with the two breakfasts in bed for his parents and step parents, and also the drinks and all the food, but he was doing his best. He took a deep breath and started carrying it, and Mary skipped behind him. They had to realize they had to open the door. Mary, can you squeeze to the side of me and open the door? She nodded her head and got on all fours, crawling past him and opening the door. Luckily, he did not spill anything. They make it inside and climb on the bed, only to spill one of the juices right onto Clef's chest. Clef woke up quickly and saw that there was orange juice all over his chest. Mary looked so afraid that she did something wrong and climbed up to her mama. I'm sorry, she says, and squeezes her face against his. It's okay. What's all this? Kondraki gets up and stretches a bit, putting on his glasses. We made you breakfast in bed, Draven says, and shows them, but orange juice was spilt all over the thing. Luckily, it didn't get on the food. Kondraki chuckled and grabbed his son into an one-armed hug and pulled him on the bed with him. You guys did a great job, but maybe next time ask for help from Mama for Father's Day thing. They nodded their head and everyone started to eat breakfast. Kondraki did not mind his eggs a little bit runny. They were still good. And Clef loved the toast because his daughter put so much effort into it. And it was all very sweet and kind and just also sweet. The parents did not mind because they loved how their kids were explaining happily, and finally they showed them the card. It had a rainbow flag on the back because she just realized what rainbow flags were and loved it and wanted to show the artistic skills for her parents, and they laughed. It was so sweet and adorable. Okay, Munchkins, Kondraki said, grabbing both kids in one arm each. It's time to get you two cleaned up and ready for your daycare things. But why? Kondraki's son whined as he didn't want to go to the daycare. He was getting too old to be in the daycare. Well, it's either that or you can go to your tutor. He huffed but crossed his arms and nodded. He'd rather be in the daycare area than in the being being in the school stuff that he would hate. He would hate to be in the school stuff, learning about all the things that the whatever the foundation wanted them to learn about that day. They got cleaned up and Kadraki smiled at Clef, and Clef kissed him on the lips. Happy Father's Day, Daddy, he says with a wink to his mate and walks out with the kids since it was his turn to drop them off. Kondraki smirked and could not wait for his special gift from his mate that night. Anyways, I hope that you all enjoyed this. Sorry that I kept tripping over my words. I have brain fog because I haven't taken my Ritalin yet. I have ADHD and my Ritalin is the only thing that keeps me focused, so my brain was buffering. Anyways, I hope that you all enjoyed this. I hope that you all have a great Father's Day this coming Sunday. It is like 6 days away. And if you don't have a good father, I'm sorry, but if you do have a father figure, may they be non binary, female, whatever. But if they took on a fatherly role and like taught you things about fatherly, or if you just have two moms and they share the load, whatever. You don't have to have a father to have a father figure, and they don't have to be male to be, or male presented to be a father figure. If they fit that role in your life, then that's your father figure. Doesn't matter what's in their pants, doesn't matter what they identify as. If they fit that role for you, that is what it is. Because it's just ridiculous trying to say Father's or Mother's Day. If they filled that role for you, or if you have a single parent that filled both roles, then definitely support them and all that stuff. Now on to Patreon outro. Patreon outro. Thank you, Gav, for being my first patron and for letting me use the artwork in this. I loved it. It was perfect. Thank you. And thank you, Wicked Brony, for being my second patron. I love that you had this idea. It was super adorable. I'm sorry I buffered a lot. I just couldn't gather my thoughts. I'm so sorry. Anyways, I hope that you all enjoyed this. And if you would like to see more, comment below what you would like to see, and I will do my best to do it and all that good stuff. And yes, yes, yes. And next up, I think it's going to be Zeus, the bonus one that I had added to the vote on my community page. Zeus as the next base Yandere headcanon. So I will be doing his headcanons typed as headcanons, such as like on Tumblr and stuff, and archive our own, posted and such for headcanons in a list mode. But I will also be doing a video on it just in case you don't like reading my headcanons because I have crappy grammar. Anyways, I hope that you all enjoyed and happy Father's Day week. Anyways, stay sexy, all my sexy muffins. Bye bye. Secret outro time, secret outro time, secret, 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 secret outro time. Secret outro, secret outro, secret outro of baseball bat. Welcome to the secret outro. And the secret outro question of the day is, what would you want do for your father when you were a kid for Father's Day? Well, I would help my mom make breakfast, do all that stuff, and I would just spoil him all through the day and have a good time with him and hang out with him watching the shows he want, which was mostly football or the History Channel. Anyways, I hope that you all enjoyed this and stay sexy on my sexy muffins. Bye bye and happy Father's Day week. Bye bye.